they find themselves for the North London derby anyway.
You're gutted.
Obviously, it's always helpful, this, but there's always a danger because they've got many fine players and they have the ability to rejig and still be a force. But what to do, how to play it tactically, we'd love to know this afternoon from our very own former Arsenal great, Perry Groves. Good afternoon, Perry.
Good afternoon, boys.
So, it's going to be interesting. I've seen all manner. Is Gabriel Jesus going to be fit? Because that's quite key to the way that Arsenal may rejig it.
Oh, I can see you having a little chuckle on. You're talking to Andy there, going, well, they've got a strong squad. You've got to test yourselves. I bet you was gutted that Bukayo Saka didn't get a little calf muscle injury or the left back.
I was hoping to see a bag of ice on his ankle when he went off last night, but no, he looked remarkably fit to me.
Yeah, he was all right. So I think we can safely say he'll play on the right hand side. But the thing is, if you got aspirations winning the title, which obviously Arsenal have, you have to go through little stage of season where you're going to be tested and how strong your squad is. So you mentioned there about Jesus. I think he's going to be fit because he's had a hip injury. But I personally would like to see Thomas Partey still play as the holding role, because when you see the lineups in different media outlets, they always put Arsenal as a 4-3-3. They're not. It's more like a 4-1-4-1, because it's either the holding midfield player, which is Thomas Partey or Jorginho. Then you have Odegaard one side, Declan Rice the other, which isn't going to happen. So I'd like to see Trossard and Havertz in those two positions. And then we mentioned Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side. Then you've got the choice of Sterling or Martinelli on that left-hand side. And then you've got the choice of Jesus up front or Martin. I wouldn't be surprised if he might throw a curveball and maybe play Martinelli up front.
Okay. You could have Sterling as a 10, couldn't you? You could have Partey and Jorginho sitting. You could have Trossard and Saka and Havertz in that sort of false 9.
Yeah, so there's loads of different options. But I think from Mikel Arteta's point of view, I think that he needs someone in the Odegaard position who can be the orchestrator, who can get the baton like the conductor and conduct everything in that position. So I'd like to see Trossard in there. I think he can play that role. I think he's technically good enough. And then there's the Jorginho or Thomas Partey, argument for holding. I'd rather Thomas Partey played in there, because you're going to have, obviously, James Maddison playing in the 10, who looks like he's got his impish qualities back again. Udogie comes in, doesn't he, from left back into the midfielder. Porro comes in. So I think you need legs in that midfielder. And Thomas Partey, I think Jorginho's better at giving you maybe a bit of control of the game, but Partey's better with incisive passing. We saw Gomez last night, didn't we? Even if it's like 10, 15, 20-yard balls that you pierce through the centre of teams, I think Partey's better at that.
What about Nwaneri, the young 17-year-old lad? I've seen a few Arsenal fans saying, look, that would be bold, but he's highly rated and he could just slip in and sit in that Odegaard position.
Yeah, I must admit, I think it's a massive ask. You're looking...
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
The youngest Arsenal player, I think he was 15 when he made his debut against Brentford. He had, last season, I think he had 20 minutes against West Ham. So in a big London derby, North London derby, which is really cool because obviously Spurs looking for a bit of revenge from last season. I think that's a massive ask to ask a young man to go in and play in a game of that importance and magnitude where you want to control the game. I think you can pick your games a bit better for the younger players.
To be honest, we don't know. Tottenham, it's something about you come to Tottenham, you become an incredibly slow healer. We don't know if Solanke is definitely going to be fit yet.
No,
there's no Richarlison, so they may be struggling up top. I take it Van der Ven's going to be fit, but there's no guarantees. So really, we haven't got until Friday.
I think it's going to be very interesting, Perry, to see how Arsenal and Arteta approach the next 2 away games, because we saw what he did at City last year. He got a lot of criticism for it, but they got a point. I think he'll go for 2 quite defensive performances, but you need something out of them because you've already dropped 2 points, and the way City and Liverpool are going, you don't want too much of a gap to open up.
Let's be honest, whether you say it's season defining or season shaping, but either way, look, it is pivotal. You said the 2 away, you've got Atalanta, haven't you, in between, which I think he'll probably play like a half and half team. I know he got a lot of criticism for the draw at the Etihad last season, but I don't think it was that result that cost us the title. It was Aston Villa at home in April, where in our hands, and you could tell that the players got nervous. So they've got to learn how to handle that sort of situation when you're favourites. So it's not ideal, obviously, Declan Rice getting suspended and like your captain getting injured. But as I said before, you've got to come through these situations. When we won the title in '89, Alan Smith, who was like our top goal scorer, he broke his cheekbone and he was out, and Niall Quinn came in and did a brilliant job. So this is like the strength of your squad. I'd just like to thank Andy and his Chelsea team for actually paying us to take Raheem Sterling.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that move? You think he's a good bit of business?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, because I think Sterling's got a little bit to prove, maybe to himself as well, that he can play at the top level. He's an upgrade on Reece Nelson, what anybody says. And Arteta knows him. He knows him as a character. He had him for when he was at Man City, didn't he? When he was like Pep's number 2. So I just think when they went to him, it was a real curveball. But when you think that Chelsea are playing 2/3 of his wages, and he gives you all those different options, winning mentality as well. So I just thought it was it was a curve.
It's going to be interesting, because none of that you just said he showed at Chelsea. He didn't show winning mentality. He didn't show that he was ready for a new challenge. He didn't really do anything. I mean,
he played pretty well against us.
He had the old
Spurs
game where he played well, but he also played incredibly selfishly.
He seemed to be up for the big games.
Yeah,
didn't he?
but he cost us in games, and his decision making was poor. We'll see. The only thing is that I agree with Perry. Arteta knows him. Probably can get more out of him than Chelsea got out of him.
Yeah,
I think that is true.
And over the last 18 months, 2 years, no one's been particularly consistent at Chelsea, have they?
No.
So the whole situation probably wasn't conducive.
The sporting directors have been consistently hopeless.
To be fair, they're very good at having 15-page dossiers and why someone shouldn't be at the club.
No, 18 pages. I'm hoping they write one about themselves.
Yeah, that could be longer than 18 pages.
Yeah, honestly.
Could
really.
be like a Harry Potter
The idea
book.
that they think they know more about football than Pochettino is fantastically arrogant, isn't it? They never played the game. They never managed anybody. And yet they wrote an 18-page report on why this bloke shouldn't be the manager. I find it fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Perry, before we let you go, there's a special evening from the Arsenal Supporters Club tonight for our late friend Russ Hargreaves. He did lots of Arsenal commentaries, didn't he? And he had a lot of love for him at the club. And there's a little event tonight at the Supporters Club. Yeah,
obviously it's conjunction with Arsenal, with the Arsenal media side, obviously with talkSPORT as well. So we're having a darts match in tribute to Russ. Yeah, so it'll be Arsenal. talkSPORT at the Arsenal Supporters Club. Just gonna in honour of Russ, because not only was he a brilliant broadcaster, which we all knew, but he was an even better human being. He's just a lovely man. So we're gonna have a tribute night in his honour. So there'll be Arsenal shirts with Hargreaves on the back, and we've got some talkSPORT shirts. Obviously, it's going to be like a 10v10 for the Russ Hargreaves Trophy, and we're going to do it annually as well. It's going to be every year. So it'll be very, very emotional. But it will be a fitting tribute to a fantastic man.
Hope it goes well, Perry. We'll catch up with you soon. All the best.
No worries, boys. Take it easy.
There we are. There's Perry Groves on how he'd like to see Arsenal approach the game. Let us know, Arsenal fans. I mean, would you chuck the kid in? It's always very tempting, isn't it? It's a bit of a difficult game to do.
Absolutely not.
Because they do have options, don't they? So let us know. talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J 03717.
If it was at home, you might say,
Yeah.
but at the Tottenham Stadium, no, forget it.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he's got a bit about him, though, and he was able to play like first team football at 15, which is pretty impressive.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.